Okay, Duane, Jenny has an experience that she's been going through, and then she has a question that will start with her experience. Her experience is not a real side experience; it's a daily life situation where she's become disinterested in everything. She doesn't have the stomach for certain things, and everything seems to. She seems indifferent to all to everything around her, and to the extent that she wants to even abdicate. She tells the children she can abdicate her function as a mother to them. You know, she sees as it appears she sees herself as very detached or something like that from life, to the extent that it is a bit troubling on upon reflection. This indifference, this I don't know, is it will I call it pessimism or what? So she's in this state, and she cannot do the. At first, she could do the new song for a longer period of time, but now 20 minutes is the utmost amount of time she can put in, and she looks at life very differently than before, and she wants to know why this indifference, why this kind of living in another world of her own, and is not very concerned. Is some kind of, will I call it, a kind of imbalance or what that she's trying to perceive in her life. So, can you throw some light on this?
Okay, yes. First of all, the ideas that are used. So again, she's experiencing something with herself, which we all are, and I wouldn't call it imbalance because life is an isness. I go through things myself. That's with the personal side. Okay, so again, it's always, we have this challenge to always look at our personal side and figure it out, and the real side of ourselves, our real awareness. That's a huge challenge. And at the same time, while we're in creation, dealing with everything, with the created outside world, and all of creation itself, and then into the real universes to recognize them, which is all here and now and isness. And this balance idea and these ideas that, just like the medical institutions and what has been created there, they've got labels for everything, okay? So, this is where we become labeled up like too many bumper stickers on our car to where you can't even see the license plates or the lights anymore. And so the idea is that yes, what she's experiencing, and I'm not going to diagnose her. Whatever she's experiencing, that's a reality for her. But at the same time, she is always the decider, just like you are. You're the decider. You want to be happy, miserable, or sad, or whatever. I decide these things too, and that's a decision we make. But the isness life always is. So you want to use that comparison constantly. So if she's indifferent to her kids or family or whatever, that's fine. But she still can decide to be creative and see things of a particular. And if she's indifferent, as an example, she can see her children as beings of light that are on their own experience and have fun discovering, hey, what are they going to share with me or whatever. However you see it, you make it up as you go, because this is how creation is. But the isness life is, always is. This is the awesome part of it. So yes, I decide an indifference to certain things, but then also I decide a warm and friendly position and association with certain things also. I constantly decide every moment. And so that's really what it is. So whatever she's experiencing, etc., she can decide to, hang on to that and utilize that like anything. It's like a tool. In your tool chest, you have many tools, and whatever tool it takes for the moment, if it's a screwdriver, hammer, or a saw, or whatever, but you still have all those tools. But the isness life is, always is, and that's the biggest challenge and best part of everything, which is so cool, is when you recognize that and can compare it to what's going on with the personal you, because there's really two of you, and actually more, but basically two. And the personal side is the five bodies, and what we decide in creation with that, and then recognizing this isness too. And I just want to kind of throw this in here. Previously, we were talking about, when you first started talking, real fast here, about the religions and things like this, and it would be better to have blessings and whatever. Well, for me personally, I don't use that term because it relates to religion, whatever. I like the idea of, we're providing something wonderful, and that is that in a way, when it's said like that, it's rather questionable. It's not defined. And so people have their idea of the blessing thing. It's like, oh, God will bless us. We'll get more money. We'll be happier. We'll be richer. Well, whatever. Okay, see, you got the basic definition there, and it's all one-dimensional. But when you say something wonderful, well, it's really not defined. It's really a lot better. It's like, gee, what is that? Something along those lines. But again, whatever she's experiencing, she can creatively always decide better and see more. But again, that's where the challenge comes up, and that's the part that each person must figure out for themselves. There's a lot that we can do literally, but compared to recognizing the isness and bringing that in and demonstrating something real and beneficial here with whatever it is, that's a big challenge. And so she's fine, and I would not say she's out of balance or she needs medication or anything like that. No, those are more ideas and labels. It's all up to her to decide what she's to be or what she wants with her life. It's her decision. She has free will.
Well, Duane, Jenny's experience, real sad experience, I'll cut it very short. They decided to, as new friends, to meet in the other, on the real side, and everyone did his new song before going to bed. And then she came out, she found herself on the real side. She had some experience of flying towards the ocean and saw some beautiful sights. And then from there, she proceeded to others, saints, very beautiful, and she wanted to stay there longer, but was forced to come back to her body, and so that is the point where she didn't know why she had to come back instead of staying there to enjoy this beautiful place, this scenery. So she was rushed back to her body. So I don't know whether you can comment on this.
We'll just keep it simple here. And again, sure, we all need a rest from time to time. And her experience, just like she's, talking about, and that is that, she's there. Why do I have to come back? This is a beautiful place. Everything is fine, etc. Well, because why do we have to keep coming back here? Because we haven't recognized the is yet. It's more than just a beautiful place. It's a whole lot more, and it's invisible. So, yes, we do go through these experiences, and many people, they're very set and very firm and very adamant about being in a wonderful, beautiful place, being rich, like on the earth, having a lot of money. They will do anything to have it, like the Queen of England, to where they even rule everyone else, etc. But really, what's the whole of life about? And this is where very few people see it, and that is it's about recognizing the is, which is even a lot better. And then you can have everything. But if you just want a place in life to be happy, well, that's all you'll have. And eventually, because it's basically in creation, at some point you'll be bored and you won't be happy anymore. Just like the indifference attitude that's been brought up here, etc. It gets to a point where it kind of nullifies itself out. What is real beauty, you see? And what else is there? And so, again, very few people will see this. So they'll go after the things that are available and what they know and what everybody else seems to be chasing. But again, it's a decision. Each person decides. And this is why, again, she's coming back in the body. But if she forces the issue, hey, they'll let her stay out and the body will disappear. And she'll be in her la-la land as an example. And that will be it. Because, again, that will outshine the is. So, really, what are we here for? What are we doing here? We come back each lifetime to recognize, more so recognize the is. It's a grind. It really is. But once you get it, you do, and you'll see that, you know what, you won't even be interested in beautiful places anymore, etc. So again, you'll see the bigger picture and what the real guides demonstrate and what I'm doing here. I'm providing something to where people can wake up. So, yeah, but again, it's her decision and it's her experience. And there's always going to be some kind of conflict, and that is, why do I have to come back? Well, there's a lot more to see. That's just very simple. There's a lot more to see, and from here, where it's really hard, you can see it the best and eventually stand real with it. So,
okay, Duane, Uncle Jeff says Happy New Year, and to all new friends on board. And he says he's given his narrated his real side experience. He's a patient. He's a diabetic patient, and he decided to tell the real guides to help with his recovery, to help cure him of this diabetic syndrome. And so in the real side experience, a real guide gave him 4 drugs, told him about 4 drugs. Okay, then he says they gave the real guides gave him the names of 4 products to buy, to be on. And the one he can only remember about 2. The one that the real guys told him was very had a beautiful name, and that he must try to remember it. Upon waking, he could not remember it. And then the one that he remembers and he wrote it down, he cannot find it in any pharmacy. And so Uncle Jeff's question is now that he cannot remember the product, and then the one that he remembers cannot be found. So how is he going to find a remedy for his diabetic condition? So I don't know whether maybe Duane can prescribe another.
Well, it's again, it's always a challenge here with our real awareness and deciding to take the risk or not. And so, we take these things. Why is he taking what he's doing for supposedly his diabetic? Look at it from that angle. Even the real guides, they do certain things to prompt you. In other words, they're telling him, and he can't remember, which is interesting. And what the one he did remember, he can't find. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so it could be lemons or celery or something like that, but they give him something else that supposedly he can't find. Well, is there a hint there? Sometimes, people take medications, and I'm not saying to do it or not. That's not it. It's each person is different. But as an example, I've got something here, another attack, and it's from head to toe with what I'm dealing with. And I'm going to have this little operation because I've got this little protrusion in my head from one of the attacks, and I went to the dermatologist. I hardly go to the doctor, but I did because I tried to take care of it myself. Wouldn't go away. So I went there. The lady's going to do a little half-hour operation, no big thing, numb the area, and she prescribed some drugs for me to take so that I wouldn't get infected. Well, I've never taken a tetanus shot. I've never done any of these things. This is me, but it's not reflective on anybody else. And I went and bought the drugs. They're only $2.50 at Walmart, whatever they are. I don't know what they are. I don't care what they are. I even told the pharmacist, just jokingly, I said, I'm not going to take them because I'm not worried about the infection. I don't care if it gets infected or not. The thing being is that I can use hydrogen peroxide or ozonated water or I'll deal with it, whatever. I don't really care, but I ain't taking the drugs. And so, but I did buy them so that it looks good with the doctor for $2.50. I'll buy them. If they're $100, I'll say I can't afford them. Let the insurance pay for them. So the same scenario here. Why is it that we have any conditions? That's really the question, isn't it? With what we're going through here. Why do we have any conditions at all? Alzheimer's, diabetes, insomnia, whatever it is, whatever it's labeled as. Why do we have these things? Because we lack the recognition of what is real and standing there. So again, and how do we get there? How do we get that recognition? Well, we take the risk. That's the only way to do it. And again, I'm not saying not take the drugs or whatever, but again, there's always another view. I've been on things myself before, had to go to the hospital because of the attacks. I went through antibiotics, but I don't take them. I didn't take all this stuff. I did what I could to get through it. I was very grateful for the help that I got, but I'm not going to live on it. And I'm going to take the risk. And again, there's other ways. I always take the risk, even if it mainly concerns my life all the time. Just like the new presentation. Hey, this is death-defying. It really is. People take it for granted thinking it's so easy. It's not. It's death-defying. And many people take it for granted to the point that they really don't appreciate what I've brought to this world. So again, I would say from an objective point of view, I'm standing over here and listening to this, but it's up to the person. And this is where things will be taken wrong. If I say take the risk, and do this or that, you decide, and then something happens. It's just like we're doing this Jillian juice thing, which is just cabbage, fermented cabbage. That's all it is. It's portrayed to be something divine and to where you can live forever, whatever. Okay, fine. But it's just cabbage, and it's not your real awareness either. There is a difference. But at the same time, try something else. Hey, just lemons or lemon juice. The peel of the lemon is very powerful. People have healed themselves with their diabetic conditions just by changing their diet. Very simple. People have healed cancers, and they've said no to chemotherapy. They took the risk. They did it. So again, it's taking the risk, isn't it? And you don't hear about these things a lot except if you go to the internet or on YouTube or something like that. But again, yeah, the boys will give you all kinds of formulas. Okay, this can heal you, that can heal you. Yeah, it can heal you. But if you keep doing the same things you have in your life, you keep eating the same things, you keep thinking the same way, etc., even if you're doing the new you, because that's with your real awareness, the same results can happen, can't they? So again, what is it that you're willing to try? And it could be the simplest things right in front of you. It can be celery, it can be lemons, it can be tomatoes, I don't know. But it's all really very simple. Well, will you take the risk? And so I would say research the people that do have diabetes on the internet, and you'll see a lot of them just change their diet to maybe it was doing the grape diet or something like that, or something very simple, and all of a sudden it was gone. And so again, we do have the answers, and we can ask, but I always take the risk. I always take the risk to see what happens. And you know what? It'll show up. It always shows up. And for the most part, what shows up is that I still got to deal with it. That's what shows up, because that's how this life is, especially now. We're on a poison planet. And so I don't look for cures for anything, because everything is poisoned. We're walking in poison every day. So you want to look for a cure, fine. I'd rather focus on my real awareness and get done with what I'm to do here, what I've decided to do. And that is to present this reality as opposed to just the personal physical side all the time, and putting all the attention on that and sharing pictures of vegetables and fruits. This is what the Walk with Rebazar idea is all about, and what we're focusing on with the universities and the concerts. Hey, people want to play with their personal lives day and night and think that's so cool. Have fun. The end result is it's all poisoned. What isn't poison? Your real awareness. So again, this individual already has the real cure, Charles, but he's got to take the risk to see it.